Welcome everybody out there in internet land. It is that time again for my Walking Dead recap. This time is for the mid-season finale, Too Far Gone. This episode kind of bummed me out. Obviously, if you've seen the episode, if you haven't, obviously heavy spoilers. I mean, it's a recap, so obviously I'm talking about everything in the episode. At least everything that I remember. So anyway, yeah, Herschel dies. Bummed me the hell out. I mean, they should have seen it coming, because obviously they have the way they kill people off in Walking Dead, the more relevant you become, the more likely you are to die. You know, I like to call it the T-Dog effect. Pretty much, the second T-Dog started seeing like, oh wow, they're actually going to do... Oh, never mind, he's dead now. But, yeah, the second the character starts to seem like they have any sort of emotional or major impact in the show, obviously excluding Carl, Rick, Michonne, and Daryl, who I figure are the untouchables of the series, at least for the time being. To backtrack, go through a proper recap. This episode starts off with the governor giving a pep talk to his people, like, I'm going to tell you something you're going to want to do, and you're going to have to do it. And I have to give you a good reason to do it, but he doesn't really give him a good reason to do it. He's just kind of like, hey, we need this prison. We got a tank. Let's go take it. No one really objects because he killed the most likely objector. You know, everyone's kind of like uneasy, but they go with it because, I mean, he's a charismatic guy in an eye patch. He's not going to follow him. So before that, he had captured Michonne and Herschel, has him bound. You're thinking that he's just going to kill Michonne on the spot. He shows some restraint. He's kind of on the halfway point where he's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm really trying to be a good guy. I'm totally not going to do anything bad. And Michonne's like, I'm going to kill you. And Herschel's like, nah, settle down, Michonne. Trying to reason with the governor. He's like, hey, how can somebody who's saying you're trying to protect your daughter, you know, threaten my daughter? She's like, they're not my daughters. Have fun. Bye. So anyway, they get to the prison. He trots out his prisoners, calls out Rick to have Rick negotiate. Really not even negotiate, just pretty much tell him to tell everybody else, like, hey, you got till sundown, get the hell out of here. And Rick's like, hey, we can be friends, don't worry, bro. Oh, the past is in the past, we got bigger fish to fry, you know, no hard feelings, we can live together, kumbaya. And the governor's like, nah, maybe for you, but I'm far too gone, hence the name of the title. And he's like, I got a better idea. I'm just going to stab Herschel in the neck. So he does that, and I'm like, no! Because Herschel's badass. So he chops his neck, and then Rick opens fire, clips him in the arm. That's very important to remember. He shoots the governor in the arm. Rick gets shot in the leg in the process, scrambles for cover. And then later on, you see Herschel kind of worming around on the ground, and you're thinking like, oh, sweet, Herschel's going to make it. And no. You see the governor pick up Michonne's katana and just finish the job, just hack his head off. And, at that time, it cuts to Tara and her girlfriend. She's like, pick up your gun, you know, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to protect you, or whatever she says. I think she's like, oh yeah, let's rendezvous somewhere else. No matter what, I'm going to come find you. And she's like, I'm done. This guy's crazy. I'm the only sane person in this entire group. I'm out of here. So anyway. Oh, and so right after he's done chopping Urkel's head off, then here comes, what is her name now? Lilly. Here comes Lilly, cradling Megan in her arms. Forgot to mention that part. So, to backtrack. So Megan's sitting there playing in the mud. Her mom is sitting there on top of... I don't know why you'd be that far from your child when there's so many perils in this world. But anyway, she's kind of up there sitting on top of a camper. Walker's trying to cross the river. The governor assured her, like, hey, they can't swim. They're not going to get across. You're perfectly safe. There's absolutely no way anything bad can happen. So Megan digs up a flash flood warning, and with it, she digs up I'm sure, a flash flood victim, and he decides to give her a nice nibble on the neck. And that is all said and done for Megan. You know, Lilly gets there too late to save her, shoots it in the head, and cradles her body, brings it to the governor. Raptor's then hacking Herschel's head off. You know, the governor provides absolutely no comfort to her, just shoots Megan in the head, and he's like, alright, now. Like, if there was any... Well, obviously there's no hope for saving the governor. He already was off the deep end, but now he just wants blood, so he's telling everyone, you know, knock down the fences, kill everybody, and they happily oblige this fight, destroying the entire reason why the prison would be a good place to live. So they roll through the fences. The one asshole in the tank's like, come over, let's fight. So they get in there, and all hell breaks loose. You know, everyone's shooting from both sides. And it's kind of interesting, because when they're kind of sizing up the governor's forces, They even go on to say, like, we're outmanned, we're outgunned, there's no way we can win this battle. But despite that, let me just to fast forward, they win the battle. They win the battle pretty damn easily. I mean, everybody in the governor's forces pretty much dies. It's just like, they couldn't have just, like, flanked them and, took them unaware. But anyway, getting back to it. Yeah, so they bust in there. The governor, he gets tackled by Rick. They start throwing down. And this one's important to notice that the governor got shot in the arm. He obviously forgot he got shot in the arm because he didn't even bother to use his left arm to pummel Rick's face. He smashes Rick's face up all good, starts strangling him, and Rick's about to go out and boop, sword through chest. The governor's out for the count. Here comes Michonne. She's just like, she looks pretty self-satisfied. Especially, she just leaves the governor just kind of lying there, writhing in pain, and she just has this like, look on her face as the governor's taking his last breaths. So, I was thinking they were going to leave him for the walkers to eat him, but he gets mercy killed pretty much by Lilly, who shoots him in the head, much like he shot her daughter in the head. And that's the end for the governor. But his team still fights on without their leader. And so, the tank seems like, after the governor, probably the next major threat. The tank effectively killed nobody, unless I missed some random extra that got killed. And yeah, so basically it's just shooting random stuff. Apparently the guy who was the tank gunner wasn't very good at his job, which is probably why he left the army. Probably not even the zombies. But anyway, so Daryl's being a badass, shooting people, and then there's this zombie creeping up behind him. And you're like, oh my god, Daryl, turn around. I know you got 3 people shooting at you, but the zombie's going to bite you. And then he's about to bite him, and they cut to commercial. Or no, they cut to the governor fighting Rick, and they cut back, and he's using the zombie as a body shield, and then he lunges a grenade over at all the dudes shooting at him. And that leads to, hands down, my favorite part of this entire episode is with Tara. After the grenade explodes, she just drops a gun and she's like, done. I am absolutely done with this. I did not sign up for grenades. Peace out. See you guys on the flip side. So she's out of there. But Daryl kills everyone over there with a grenade. And then he apparently has another grenade because he's full of grenades. So he throws another one down the barrel of the tank and blows that up, which is, for people that make Battlefield the video game, you really need to incorporate that. That was pretty awesome. And so the tank gunner gets out, and he's just like, hey man, no hard feelings, we can kumbaya, and Daryl's like, have an arrow in the chest. So he kills him, and then he meets up with Beth, and he's like, we gotta go, so they all run off. And Beth was supposed to be watching Lilly, and she was supposed to stay on the bus, and she barely did none of the things she was supposed to do. So the bus drives off. It has Glenn in there. I don't think we saw where Maggie ended up. I know she was looking for somebody. But anyway, everyone gets split apart after all this chaos. Bob ends up going with Sasha and Tyrese. Tyrese looks like he was about to be out for the count because Tara's girlfriend and some other dude are shooting at him, and he's hiding behind these potted plants because that is hands down the best cover you can get from machine gun fire. And you think, oh man, is Tyrese going to die as a major character besides Herschel? Is someone actually going to die in this gunfight that's important? No. Because Lily comes up, or Lizzie actually, Lizzie and her younger sister, who went to commandeer some weapons and killed both of them. Like, I thought Carl was a resident child badass, but I think Lizzie is going to give him a run for his money. So he kills both of them, or she kills both of them, and then Tyrese is like, alright, we gotta go this way, and then run off. And prior to that, there were some other kids who also ran off, so there's just kids running around the jail. I'm guessing they're not going to make it. So, anyway, speaking of people not going to make it, so after Michonne saves Rick, he's just like, his first words are, Carl! And he looks like he has, like, chewing tobacco in his mouth. It's like the way his lips is all swollen up, so he's limping around. He's calling for Carl! And pretty much Carl finds him, kills some zombies. And once he gets Carl, he's like, oh yeah, I have another kid, Judith! And then they find her little baby carriage all bloody, she's missing. Beth was not doing her job, she's too busy trying to play Rambo with her sister. And so I guess she's presumed dead, we don't really know, but they escaped the jail together. So it's pretty much Rick and Carl, Tyrese and Lizzie's sister, whose name I don't remember. Glenn, and random extras. Oh, that's what I was going to mention. So after all this gunfire and a tank, one guy was killed. Some random dude you've never seen. That was the only casualty, obviously besides Herschel, but that was before the gunfire. It was it was a little laughable. I wish they would have at least had a few more extras. At least get shot by, at least one person get hit by the tank or some tank debris or something. It kind of made the tank pretty worthless. But I guess the tank was just there just to get blown up by Daryl, thus showing his badassness. So overall, the episode was pretty good. Like I said, Herschel dying really bummed me out. He was really awesome. I really expected them to kill Beth, quite honestly, but I guess she was the most obvious choice because she's not really doing anything. I knew they weren't going to kill Bob because they haven't done anything with him yet, other than show that he's a raging alcoholic. I didn't think they'd kill Tyrese because there's still that loose end with Carol. Sasha also seemed like kind of an obvious choice because she's not really doing all that much. And all her death would do is just make Tyrese even more of a rage monster, and really no point in doing that because he's got that pretty well done. Glenn hasn't done much other than cough up blood, so I didn't think he was going to die. But yeah, it was pretty good. I really wanted to see the governor get killed by a zombie. I thought that would have been pretty fitting, since he seems to be so just well adjusted by them. Like that's the least of his concerns, it seems. So I thought that would have been very fitting. Or if Lilly had shot him, like if it hadn't been Michonne that killed him, and it had been her. I mean, obviously she finished him off, but had she been the one to wound him initially, but it is what it is. It was pretty good. It actually makes me very excited for the second half of season 4 because everyone's scattered around. I have a feeling that's when Carol's going to come back into the picture because, I mean, with all these groups of people, I mean, somebody's got to run into her. So it should be interesting. I don't know. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I feel like I'm leaving something out. Maybe. Oh, and then I don't know what's going to happen to Lilly. I mean, maybe she'll meet back up with Tara. Maybe she'll meet up with the rest of the survivors. Who knows? And we also got a cameo from the crazy lady that looked like a walker. Now she is fully a walker. And apparently she's going to make her new home in the prison. And I'm sure she'll be nice and cozy in there. So, all in all, not bad. Good season finale. I guess it was a lot more satisfying than the season 3 finale where the governor just ran off and shot everybody. I wish that it would have been, obviously, it's a TV show, but I wish it would have been a little bit more realistic with all the deaths. I mean, like, if at least they would have had a line in there to say, like, none of the governor's guys were well trained other than the tank guy because they can't hit anything at all. That would have been nice. So, that was really my only gripe. It was just kind of silly to have. I mean, granted, they were out in the open, and all the prison people were behind cover, but still, it's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, I'd say the hero of the episode is Lizzie for her headshot, saving Tyrese. The ultimate badass, obviously, Daryl blowing up a tank with a grenade. And that is about it. I will see you guys next season in February, I believe February 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Really have no idea, but I'll say February 4th. You can look it up. It's on AMC.com. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, someone has suggested that I do a predictions video, which I will do after this video. So stay tuned for that. As always, you can go to pitwar.com, PTWOR, or Punching the Walls of Reality. And I'll see you guys later. Peace. Oh, so I forgot to mention, my second favorite thing, or maybe third favorite, another thing I really loved about this episode was after Herschel gets beheaded, as much as that bummed me out, was Michonne's combat roll, that she's rolling out away from the gunfire to get herself to safety, and then later cuts off her little wrist bracelets, her restraints with the license plate. That was badass. Like, that was awesome. I mean, you didn't really get to see Michonne do a lot in this episode other than scowl, which is kind of like par for the course for her, but seeing her combat roll was badass.